Guys, so this is a manual carbon unit. So this valve, if you see any valve that looks like this, or some of you have a lever that goes like this, either way it's the same process. This happens to be labeled 1, 2, 3, and then service being 4, final. Right now we just finished the first stage, which is backwashing for 5 to 8 minutes. Because this is a 2 cubic foot unit, I backwashed more like 8 to 10 minutes, so we just finished that. So I'm going to go to suction. So while we're going into suction, there's this lever here. This unit has a lever for the suction. You open that up once you put it in suction. Go ahead and suck your chemical. For those of you that use chlorine, for a 2 cubic foot unit, you're going to use about 16 ounces of chlorine, pool chlorine. We're going to suck up this gallon. I'm not actually going to use the whole gallon. I'm going to use a half gallon. So once we get to that point, then I'm going to put it into service to pause. So that's something that not a lot of people do. You'll see what I do. We're going to give this whole video a couple minutes so you can maybe fast forward if you'd like to. Because I can't put it into pause until the peroxide has made its way all the way through. So I'm almost there. It does suck up pretty quickly. So I'm almost there. Okay, I've got my half gallon in. So I'm going to suck air up until peroxide starts coming out of the drain. So if you, like us, have our drain going down into a tube and then out into somewhere else and you can't see it, you're going to give this 2.5 minutes from right now. At 2.5 minutes, standard suction, it's going to have the peroxide go all the way through. When the peroxide goes all the way through, or when this thing, if you're using peroxide, then this is going to work. But when this starts going pop, 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 that's when peroxide's made its way through, and I'll put it into service at that point. So here's a trick of the trade that I'm going to show you. I don't know why I'm going to show you, but I'm going to try to help you out. So you don't have to call us now. What I do is I turn off the water. So now I turn off the water right here. I put the water off going into the softener, so it's not going to siphon any water out of the softener. So I turn the water off, but it's still in the suction position. So it's sucking air via vacuum. So I'm not actually using any of this water. I'm actually draining the tank, which is going to give an air infusion, peroxide infusion, and I'm not actually using the water from the softener. So when I put this back into service, it's not going to put peroxide into the house. So now that it's off, I'm just waiting about another minute before I go ahead and put it in the service position for pause. Then once you put it into service position for pause, you're going to put this lever up into service, and if you have the other type of lever, you're going to put it into service for pause, and you're going to let it wait for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you're going to put it into rinse. After you put it into rinse, you're going to rinse out all the chlorine, all the peroxide, whatever you're using, up until the water's clear. When the water's clear, you can put it into service and you're done. Do that once a week, or have a company like us come out and do it once a month. And if you're going to do it once a week, you don't have to use as much peroxide. You want to use about half a gallon to a gallon a month, so you'd want to use a 1/4 gallon once a week. That kind of math.